Despite being one of the most popular games to speedrun of all time, and now being over 26 years old, Mario 64 continues to have new and exciting discoveries for speedruns. It is the gift that keeps on giving. And in this video, I'm going to be going over 3 new things that are guaranteed to knock your socks off or your money back. First things first, SSP, also known as Swimming Strength Preservation, discovered by Josh Duman after Circumark, you know, the guy who basically made Mario 64 speedrunning what it is today, presented a question wondering why Mario's speed in the water seems to vary even when doing the same inputs. There is a variable called swim strength, which aids in giving Mario more speed in the water when he swims. Now things are going to get a little complicated, but stick with me. Swim strength is built up from reaching full speed in the water. The way swimming works in Mario 64 is Mario builds up to full speed after 6 full breaststrokes in the water. However, if the swim strength variable is preserved at the max value, you can reach full speed in just 3 breaststrokes. Now normally every time Mario enters the water, his strength should be reset. However, there is an exception in the code where this value can be saved from a previous swimming segment, and if you enter the water with a flutter kick, you essentially trick the game into thinking that you never stopped swimming. According to Josh Duman's explanation, he presumes it was coded this way to allow Mario to go from flutter kicks to breaststrokes while keeping momentum. You might be thinking, breasts. But you might also be thinking, isn't flutter kicking slow? And you're right. That's why speedrunners never do it in runs, but the window of time when Mario falls into the water is the time where this is useful. Normally when Mario falls into the water, he's still, and then you start doing your breaststrokes. However, if you hold A and release it frame perfectly, you can enter the water with a flutter kick and begin breaststrokes while keeping your swim strength, whatever it was before. Now, anytime we're talking about something frame perfect, it's obviously going to be very difficult, and really, you're only going to be seeing it used and required to attain new single-star world records. A new world record for the Manta Ray star in Dire Dire Docks was just set by G-Boss using this exact technique. You may be wondering if this has any use case for full speedruns of the game, or perhaps your brain is still fried from trying to understand this mechanic, which I don't blame you. It is weird and confusing, but it turns out that there is some use case in 120-star speedruns. A more reliable way to start swimming with a flutter kick in the water is with a dive, as it does the flutter kick automatically upon entering water, and all a runner has to do is time their first A press to get the first breaststroke after the flutter kick. This can be done in Wet Dry World for the Vanish Cap star, as it stores swimming strength from swimming in Dire Dire Docks. It can also be done entering the Wiggler's Cave in Tiny Huge Island, as the strength is stored from swimming in Wet Dry World during the 100 coin star. Now, in terms of time save, you're probably going to be a little bit upset with me because people tend to get upset when I talk about things and make them seem like a big deal, but they're only saving a few frames. However, it's still a big deal. There's world records being set, single-star world records. It's a new standard in the single-star world. The differences in 120-star will be pretty negligible and probably only a few frames, maybe 0.2 to 0.3 at most, at least right now. Next up on the agenda, we have Assless. This idea was first done over 13 years ago, but had not been replicated by runners in real time until last month when Kano, the current 1-star and 0-star world record holder, posted it on Twitter. Apparently Kano had tried Gold Rush's idea, Gold Rush being a Japanese player in the community who has also done a lot for the speedrunning scene. Originally, Kano wanted to name this trick Ultimate Lakitu Bounce. However, GTM, being the absolutely bright, stunning, intelligent individual that he is, suggested perhaps it be called Assless. Now you may be wondering, how did this get called Assless? Typically this strat is done by wall kicking on this platform, bouncing on the Lakitu, and then landing on Mario's ass and jumping backwards up the slope. However, with very precise movement and positioning, you can do just a triple jump and bounce on the Lakitu, barely giving you enough height to land on the slope. Afterwards, you have just a fraction of a second in order to get a kick and get yourself up the slope into grabbing the pole. One of the coolest things found in recent time, a huge discovery for Lakitu Bounce, and many new world records have been set in just this past couple of weeks since this was first done. It is around a 2-second time save over the glitchy wall kick strat, which we can see in Ouija's 70-star world record, which is the fastest thing runners are doing in runs at the moment. But it's hard to say where it stands right now in terms of consistency. Kano has practiced it a ton and managed to get it 10 times in a row, which in my opinion is a pretty good demonstration of consistency. So who knows? Perhaps it will be in a future 70-star world record. Not sure about 120-star. And I myself have not entered the lab with this strat yet, but I do plan on messing around with it soon. And last but not least, we have something that I'm sure everyone has been waiting to see. A route in 120-star where carpetless is done. Now this one's a little silly, but let's just entertain it for a second. Hypothetically, let's imagine a world where runners can do carpetless with some kind of consistency. We all know and love carpetless. It's a funny joke. Everyone laughs every time people bring it up in Rainbow Ride. I love it as a runner, you know, people just, it's so good. It definitely doesn't get old at all when people bring it up. Doing it in 120-star, where Rainbow Ride is the last stage that you do before going into the final Bowser level. It just doesn't seem realistic. All those nerves, all that pressure, to be able to hit carpetless with all that? Nah, let's do it as soon as we can. Circumark recently posted a video showing a route. Instead of completing most of the castle and ending it with the top, you know, doing some kind of linear order, you go to Dark World, you get the key. Then you go to the basement, you do SBLJ, an extremely difficult BLJ on the stairs in the basement to get into DDD early. You do DDD 100 plus reds because you need the submarine to be there. You get the sub-star in Dire Dire Docks, so we can go to Fire Sea to get the second key, which is when the submarine disappears from Dire Dire Docks. Then you go into Fire Sea, exit out, go upstairs, do the 50-star door BLJ, you go to Rainbow Ride, you do a simple carpetless, then you do 100 coin star plus the cannon star, instead of doing it with the carpet star, finish up Rainbow Ride, go back in, and then you quit out, and then you do the rest of the run as normal, after having just done all of that, including carpetless first try. And guess how much time it saves? 17 seconds. 17-second time save to have to do all that. Not to mention, because doing the 50-star door BLJ once means that the door is not unlocked or that the animation hasn't happened, you would have to do another 50-star door BLJ at the end of that run. Obviously, this is a very insane route, and even in the video title, Circumark put 2030 route. All I'm saying is I will be long gone before this is the standard route for 120-star. I'm hitting not only an SBLJ, an insanely hard trick to get into Dire Dire Docks early, hitting the 50-star door BLJ 2 times, all on top of having to do carpetless first try in a run. Can you imagine the nerves, the pressure after hitting carpetless, and then having to go and do all the other hard stuff in the run? Nah. Not happening. Not happening. Anyways, that's Mario, baby. Mario 64. The game, the gift that keeps on giving. Hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.